Good evening, Spectrum families. My name is Mark Leland, and I have the privilege and honor this evening of helping introduce our 2020 graduation ceremony. Although our graduation ceremony tonight will not look or feel like a traditional one, we hope to provide some semblance of the true celebratory nature of this incredible and special occasion. We are, without a doubt, so very proud of each of our graduates this year. Quite honestly, they have endured something that none of us could have imagined and have done so with a great attitude, an inspiring spirit, and tremendous courage. And for that, we say thank you to our senior class. And now, please help me in welcoming the class of 2020. To begin our evening, I would like to introduce to you Spectrum High School's 2020 Salutatorian. Mackenzie Alders achieved a 4.13 GPA over the past 4 years. Highlights of her high school achievements include that she is graduating with over 80 college credits and her AA degree. She was awarded the Service Learning Scholarship for the work she did hosting a benefit that raised over $13,000 for charity this past summer. Mackenzie was a member of the girls' basketball team and also an all-conference track athlete. She was a captain on the cross-country team for the past 2 years and was involved with our link crew here at Spectrum. In the fall, Mackenzie plans to pursue her goal of becoming a lawyer and working in politics while attending Gustavus Adolphus College. Please join me in welcoming Spectrum High School's 2020 Salutatorian, Mackenzie Alders.
Good evening, all, and thank you for coming together tonight to help us celebrate the class of 2020. For the past 3 years, I have attended graduation ceremonies much different than this one. I sat silently as the proud grads walked across the stage, clapped alongside their families, and teared up a time or two as a ping of fear crossed my mind as thoughts of my own much-awaited graduation entered. As I imagine my fellow peers watching tonight, I see future doctors, lawyers, engineers, politicians, environmentalists, FBI agents, and so much more. For most of you joining us in celebration of our achievements, you have great hopes for your child, your sibling, your friend, or your family member, and have pushed them to accomplish these goals. Standing in front of you all this evening, I can say without a doubt that these dreams and ambitions will come to fruition for my classmates and me. The class of 2020 has been met with more challenges and uphill climbs than any class before. My class was born into a frightened America in the wake of 9/11. As we graced the halls of elementary schools for the first time, the stock market was crashing in the world around us. Soon after our entrance into middle school, the Boston Marathon was bombed. And now we are graduating high school with our last memories unfairly stripped away from us. Yet, despite all of this, we continue to rise to the occasion and outstride these challenges. We have found new ways to celebrate, to take pride in ourselves and our work, and to continue to be strong in spirit and mind. 2020 is the class of overcomers. Together, we are the future, ready to bring about change and advancement in our world. I have no doubt that our future is bright. And so, without further ado, I'd like to formally welcome you to Spectrum High School's graduation ceremony for 2020's class of overcomers. And to my fellow graduates, hey look guys, we made it.
Isabella Dorval achieved a 4.14 GPA during her 4 years at Spectrum. Isabella is graduating this evening with 69 college credits and her AA degree. A few of Isabella's high school achievements include her being named a 2020 National Merit Scholarship finalist this year, which is a distinct and incredible honor. She was an alto saxophone player in Spectrum's Wind Ensemble and was recently awarded the John Philip Sousa Award, which is the pinnacle achievement in our high school band. Isabella was an active member in our theater program and enjoyed being a contributing member on our Quiz Bowl team. In the fall, Isabella plans to attend the University of Wisconsin-Madison and will study biology. Please join me in welcoming Spectrum High School's 2020 valedictorian, Isabella Dorval.
I've had so many people in the past couple months ask me how I'm doing. And I'm always a little bit baffled by the question because we're in a global crisis, the country is in lockdown, everything is canceled, and I already paid for my prom dress. Like, how exactly do you think I'm doing? I know the people trying to comfort us right now have the best of intentions. We've all heard the same variations of focus on being grateful for what you have, and we're all in this together since the beginning of all this. But to me, those things aren't the most important things to take away from our senior year. To me, the most important thing is how we've responded to all the bad things that have been thrown at us. I'm sure many of us spent time crying at the beginning of quarantine, asking ourselves, why me? Why now? I know I did. We had days where we didn't get out of bed or eat anything healthy or even change from our night pajama pants to our day pajama pants. But we don't look like that now. We shed our tears, but in what should honestly be considered record time given the circumstances, we picked ourselves up, looked around, and started figuring out ways to deal. Video calls, Netflix parties, kitchen proms, dyed hair, makeshift music performances, and Instagram story challenges that everyone declared their hatred for but ultimately ended up doing anyway. We pulled out old hobbies and instruments, new books and TV shows, old art projects, and new ones to start. Corona gave us a challenge, and we looked her right in the face and said, if this is the life you're going to give us, we're going to make it our own. And to me, that is the absolute embodiment of what the class of 2020 is. We were one of the guinea pig years for cash classes, with many of us taking classes that were being offered for the first time. We stumbled through figuring out cash and PSEO and balancing everything without much of an example to follow because a lot of it hadn't been done before. Many people here today are leaving high school with their AA degrees, and that is truly a testament to the dedication, fire, and stubbornness of our class. The class of 2020 is a class of creative problem solvers, of doers and makers, and some of the hardest workers I have ever seen. This isn't what we wanted the end of our high school experience to look like, and it is honestly horribly unfair that we are the first and possibly only class ever to have it happen like this. But that hasn't stopped us. We've kept moving, holding our heads high and putting one foot in front of the other, and we won't let this hold us back. In the coming years, we will have the opportunity for fresh starts, to decide who we want to be and how we want our lives to look. One thing we can be grateful for from this pandemic, and the only thing I will tell you to appreciate, is that we get to evaluate now what is most important to us. What have you missed the most? What have you not missed? Who do you realize that you cared about, and who did you maybe realize you didn't need in your life? What hobbies do you want to make time for, and which ones can you get rid of? We have a new and intense sense of how our lives can be turned upside down in a moment, and every one of us is going to take that with us into the future. We will hug our friends a little tighter, tell them we love them when we say goodbye, think a little more carefully about that haircut, say what we might have been too scared to say, or take the opportunity to go to that thing that we might not have had the nerve to go to before. Life is too short to not truly live it, and we found that out the hard way. None of us thought that March 13th would be our last day of high school, and I'm sure there are things we regret or wish we had done. From now on, we will carry that knowledge with us. And I think the class of 2020 will live in the present and care about the little things in life more than any class before us. So right now, while we're stuck inside, unable to do all the things that we were looking forward to, I want you to look to your future. Plan those after-quarantine parties and college dorm rooms and road trips. What will they look like? What will you look like? Who do you want to be when this is over? You may not get the closure that you wanted, but you have the chance to start fresh, and you get to decide what to do with that chance. I know that each one of you will make it unique, and that someday I will see all of you doing great things. Congratulations, class of 2020. You survived high school, and I hope that when this is over, you make the most of all the world has to offer. Thank you.
Hello, I am Daryl Skog, Dean of Students at Spectrum High School. It is my honor to announce Spectrum High School's Senior Student Spirit Awards to our selected 12th grade students. The Spirit Award is given by the faculty, staff, and administration to recognize those students who have demonstrated true spirit through their dedication to service, perseverance, integrity, responsibility, intrinsic motivation, and the transforming of the school's climate. Spirit is manifested in many ways, and although some of these ways are through traditional school activity participation, this award extends far beyond school to include student leadership through community involvement, work responsibilities, and family commitment. Spectrum High School recognizes the impact that student leaders make both in and out of the classroom. It is our privilege to recognize and applaud each of these students through Spectrum High School School Spirit Award. The following students have received a plaque in recognition of this great honor, and they are Martha Bergley, Kaylee Betzler, Isabella Dorval, Matthew Helzer, Maxwell Lawrence, and Catherine Lemke. Congratulations.
In the fall of each year, Spectrum begins to seek out a commencement speaker who is connected to our community, exemplifies quality leadership, and can inspire our graduates to reach great heights. Tonight's commencement speaker exemplifies these traits. Representative Eric Lucero is currently serving his third term in the Minnesota House of Representatives, representing many of the communities in which our students and families live. He is a highly educated small business owner, entrepreneur, and state legislator who is passionate about helping others strive for greatness. Please join me in welcoming Representative Eric Lucero.
Congratulations, class of 2020. It is my honor and privilege to join you during this very exciting time. My name is Eric Lucero, and I'm state representative serving the great cities of Albertville, St. Michael, Otsego, Hanover, and Dayton. I'm presently serving my third term in the State House of Representatives, and again, this is a true honor to be able to join you during this very special time in this very unique set of circumstances, which is being able to join you at least virtually. So I have a very strong academic background myself. I spent more than a decade in college after high school, and just to share a few points, I had the opportunity of being a PSEO student when I was in high school, which was not that long ago. And then after high school, I went to Century Community College and obtained an associate in arts degree, an associate in science in law enforcement. Then I decided to go back to school and I obtained a Bachelor of Science in Law Enforcement. And then I decided to go back to school and get a Computer Networking Design and Development Diploma from NEI College of Technology. Then I decided I wanted to go back to school and I obtained a Bachelor of Applied Science in Computer Forensics with minors in Mathematics and Psychology. And then I decided to go back to school to the University of Minnesota Carlson School of Management to obtain my MBA. So that, again, was over a decade of college, and I love learning so much. I also taught college for 7 years prior to serving in my present role as state representative. So I have a great appreciation for academics and for learning and continuous learning, which is one of the reasons why I'm also so excited, and I want to congratulate, because it's my understanding that 64 out of 74 graduates have obtained some form of college credit during your high school years. 3 of you have completed all the requirements for the Minnesota transfer curriculum, and 15 of you have successfully earned an associate in arts degree during your time here in high school. So that is incredibly exciting, certainly sets you on a jump start for the next page in the chapter of your life. And so one of the things that I am so appreciative, and it's such a blessing for each and every one of us in this great state of Minnesota and in this great country, our great country, the United States, is the fact that we have a unique opportunity within our lives to pursue happiness. And that's one of the things that sets our country apart from most of human history, including today. The fact that we recognize that every individual liberty is bestowed to us from our Creator, which enables us life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And the pursuit of happiness is different for every person. And this is, again, what sets us apart, because no matter what a person's background is, no matter how they started in life, we are afforded to make decisions in our life, to be empowered to pursue happiness as we see fit. And again, that is different for every person. Some of you I know are going to move on to go to college like I did. Some of you, college is not the best fit. And there is very exciting opportunities to be successful in life, regardless if a person chooses to go on to college or not.
And that is, again, what makes our country so unique and how we have the blessings to make those choices for ourselves. So one of the things that I do in my life is I try not to reinvent the wheel. And I want to stand on the shoulders of giants. And so what I've done in just preparing a few remarks here is to put that philosophy to practice. So I've come up with some of the euphemisms that we have probably heard many times in our life, and I'll just share some of those. So for example, don't reinvent the wheel. Stand on the shoulders of giants. I already said that, so that's how I prepared this work, or my comments here. There's no time like the present. Have we heard that? Seize the day, carpe diem. And that's a piece of advice that I would give. Absolutely, now there's no better time than the present to make that decision for whatever it is you want to do. Seize the day. A rolling stone gathers no moss. Have you heard that one before? Well, that is very much true, because it is something in life that we should never stop learning, never become stagnant in life. Always have a goal, continue to aspire, continue to reach, because, as the euphemism is, a rolling stone, an active stone that is continuous in its progress, will not gather the moss. Another is, don't wait until tomorrow what you can do today. Don't wait until the 11th hour, right? We've heard that. Well, the fact is, in life, don't procrastinate. Don't assume that there's a better time, some distant time in the future. But instead, again, don't procrastinate. Do it right now. How about this one? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, that is very much the truth, because each and every one of us, we are not going to be successful at everything we try to do, right? We should level set our expectations. But when we fail, that is not the time to be discouraged. Instead, if at first you don't succeed, right? Get up, brush the dust off your boots, and try again. And now I've had the opportunity in this role and in other parts of my life to do some world travel. And in one of the places that I've traveled is Israel. And one of it was actually a paradigm shift in my thinking when I was over there. We visited with some leaders in the community that had dealt with business leaders, and they were talking about investment, venture capitalists. And one of the things, what a venture capitalist is somebody who entrepreneurs or inventors would go to seeking to maybe get a loan or some other kind of financial investment that somebody who has more money is willing to invest in an inventor to hopefully give them a leg up in whatever product or service they're trying to develop or innovate in. And one of the things that they said that over in Israel, it is their philosophy that they understand that not all decisions, not all attempts at developing or innovating a product or service are going to be successful. And that they're actually looking, one of the criteria, one of the check marks that they're looking for is for inventors that have not succeeded. Now, why is that important? Because it is a skill. It is an absolute skill that a person who suffers a setback, who does fall, is able to get up, brush the dust off their shoes, off their boots, and then try again. Don't allow failure to become a disaster for their life. But instead, again, it is a skill set, and it is a very valuable lesson that when you don't succeed, because you won't always on your first attempt, don't become discouraged. Now, that is a different philosophy than in the United States, because oftentimes failure is looked at as a stigma in the United States when it comes to venture capitalists. And if an innovator or an inventor has failed at whatever it is they're trying to do, then that becomes that stigma for other venture capitalists to want to invest in that person. Where again, it was just the opposite when in Israel, and that is very much the case that I believe in. Whatever does not kill you will certainly make you stronger. And you'll want to incorporate all of your life's experiences in a productive way, incorporating them in so that, again, you can harness those lessons learned in the next step in your retry of that objective that you're trying to go after. Here's another euphemism. Think outside the box. Thinking outside the box is incredibly wise words, because we need to think differently, right? If we do the same thing that everybody else is doing, well, guess what? You're going to end up with the same result. That's why you have to think outside the box. Think of it differently. Do something just a little bit different. Well, and then guess what? You're going to have a different result that hopefully will be far exceeding what other people have been doing. Now, there's just tons of words of wisdom here that, again, just euphemisms that are summarized in very short advice. So just running down them, don't burn your bridges. You definitely don't want to burn your bridges. It is a small world, because what goes around comes around. And if you spend your life making people mad, burning your bridges, thinking that you're never going to see them again, guess what? I have crossed paths with people years later that I never thought I would see again, and I'm certainly glad that I parted ways with whatever that was. It could have been a friendship, could have been employment. Never burn your bridges, because you will most likely see people again. You can't please everybody. When you're making decisions in life, you're going to have those voices of discouragement. But just know you can't please everybody. What you need to do in the pursuit of your own happiness is make sure that, again, you're making choices that are best for you, not making choices for your life with the intent to obtain everybody else's approval. Perception becomes reality. That is very much the truth. Even if it isn't the truth, how others perceive you is going to become the reality in how they act and treat you. And so that's the reason why we each need to be cognizant of our actions speak louder than our words. We definitely can't live by the philosophy, do as I say, not as I do, because our actions speak louder than our words, and everybody is watching us. And that's how they form perceptions about us, and then those perceptions about us obviously translate into reality and actions. No pain, no gain. There is definitely a need to sacrifice and to make efforts, because anything worth achieving is going to require a sacrifice. It's going to require a strain. It's going to require taking some risk. It's going to require stepping outside your comfort zone. Laughter is the best medicine. There is certainly, especially we're seeing in this time now, a division, hatred, divisiveness, fear, anxiety. That is always in existence. And we can't allow that to overwhelm us. And we have to be remembering that laughter is the best medicine, and it can certainly help in any time. The grass always appears greener on the other side of the fence, right? We've heard that one. It is not. Appearances can and often are deceiving, right? We can look over the fence and think things are better, but I'll tell you what, they are not better most of the time. And that's another thing. Don't keep up with the Johnsons. Don't look over that fence. Don't think, hey, you know what, it looks better over there. I need to do what they're doing. I need to keep up with the Johnsons. Again, that is trying to make decisions based on what other people are doing, and you can't do that for your own life. It's not whether you win or lose, but it's how you play the game, right? We're familiar with that one. Certainly true, because how you play the game speaks to integrity. Are you following the rules? Are you being truthful? Are others able to trust you, right? It's not whether you win or lose, but how you play the game, how you treat others, and that's how you're going to find the greatest degree of success, the greatest amount of happiness in your life is, again, maintaining your integrity, maintaining your morality. And just a few others in conclusion here. Don't let the sun set on your anger. Bitterness collects over time, and bitterness, if one harbors bitterness and allows the day after day after day to have anger build, that is going to only have a very detrimental and negative impact on your life. We have to remember forgiveness. We must remember to give others grace and essentially mercy as well. And because, again, there's just much need out there that has often been forgotten, that we need to forgive others. And if we don't forgive others, that's when bitterness collects, anger collects, and then it's just not healthy for us. Always have a reason for the choices that you're making. Certainly be able to answer that question for anybody who asks. Why did you make that choice in your life? You'll want to know the reason. Because if you make decisions on a whim, not knowing exactly why you're doing them, that's when it can definitely waste time, it can cost time, and time goes by like that. Life goes by so fast. Each and every one of us do not have the time to go through life not knowing why we're doing what we're doing, but instead have a reason for the decisions that you make. And then lastly, a divided house against itself cannot stand. And that is very much true. We need to love others. We need to understand others. We need to incorporate their desires, their objectives, and what other people want to do into our own life. Because those that find happiness the most are those that have servant leadership in their hearts. They are leading in their life, leading others through being a servant themselves. And that, again, is how history demonstrates that we achieve the greatest amount of success, greatest amount of happiness in our life. Well, once again, class of 2020, these euphemisms are so true. They're time-tested, and that's why they're with us today. And I hope that you find just the greatest amount of happiness, greatest amount of success in your life, and I know that you will do so, and it's so an honor, while I can't be here in person with you, to know that you have worked so hard to get to where you are, and then you will continue to do so. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Blake Mays, school counselor.
I'm Sue Matheson, school counselor. We, along with Mr. Leland, Spectrum's high school principal, would now like to recognize the following students for their high academic achievement.
The Minnesota transfer curriculum is comprised of 10 goal areas in which a student must complete at least 45 college credits. All three of the following students have completed all of the requirements necessary for the Minnesota transfer curriculum. They are Tristan Christensen, Linda Haben, and Noah Schluter.
In addition, the class of 2020 has 15 graduates who have earned an Associate of Arts degree concurrent with their high school diploma. An AA degree is earned by obtaining 20 credits beyond the requirements of the Minnesota transfer curriculum, or 60 credits within specific goal areas. These students are Mackenzie Alders, Elizabeth Berry, Isabella Dorval, Natalie Dewar, Julia Farner, Carter Hansen, Andrew Hatling, Haley May, Noah Ritter, Nicole Sagstetter, Noah Shaber, Graydon Snyder, Alexis Wallace, Lauren White, and Camille Wilder.
Our next section of outstanding student scholars includes those who have completed at least 40 college credits, which is equal to completing 1.5 years of college, but chose not to complete the Minnesota transfer curriculum or an Associate of Arts degrees. They are Kaylee Betzler, Kelly Blansett, Earl Foster, Jonathan Gertz, Margaret Heino, Kaylee Johnson, Audrey Kotek, Maxwell Lawrence, Caleb Rogers, Ellie Steinley, Anna Suter, Cameron Sundstrom, Tate Tyne, and Abigail Thompson. Collectively, 64 out of our 74 graduates this year, or 86.5% of the Spectrum High School class of 2020, has earned an impressive 2,685 total college credits. Based on the average cost of college credits at a four-year public university or college in the United States, this equates to a savings in college tuition of approximately $905,000. We are extremely proud of your efforts. Congratulations, class of 2020.
2020.
To the school board and executive director of Spectrum High School, these students who, having completed all graduation coursework as required by the state of Minnesota, are hereby presented to you for the conferment of their diploma. Mackenzie Jean Alders. Martha Irene Bergley. Elizabeth May Berry. Trinity Joy Bettinger. Kaylee Blaine Betzler. Kelly Aslan Blansett. Bryce Anton Bozich. Ryan Walter Brown. Michael Christopher Buck. Tristan Alexander Christensen. Kelsey Ann Christensen. Jade Christine Clarine. Andrew Robert DeBoer. Megan Rose Denker. Isabella Elaine Dorval. Isaiah John Drew. Natalie Ann Dewar. Julia Lane Farner. Emily Rachel Faring. Alexandra Ann Forpaul. Earl James Foster. Jonathan Gust Gertz. Nolan Peter Gillen. Victoria Rochelle Anna Gepford. Linda Rose Haben. Carter William Patrick Hansen. Jade Ann Hardkoff. Andrew Nicholas Hatling. Margaret Louise Esther Heino. Matthew David Helser. Mallory May Henry. Jonah Alexander Hertau. Bethany Ann Hinckley. Ross Michael Hohen. Allison Ray Havda. Kaylee Joy Johnson. William James Koch. Audrey Elizabeth Kotek. Kira Lynn Larson. Maxwell James Lawrence. Veronica Mary Lee. Catherine Anne Marie Lemke. Gunnar Gage Moss. Kaylee Marie Marchand. Edwin Antonio Ocampo Markey. Haley Rose May. Tori Ann Mercer. Stephen Forrest Morse. Kylie Jean Murrah Omariba. Connor Gregory Opey. Noah Michael Ritter. Caleb Benjamin Rogers. Nicole Elizabeth Sagstetter. Elizabeth Aaron Sample. Noah Kenneth Shaber. Shayla Ray Shibley. Noah Matthew Schluter. Nicholas Michael Showmaker. Jenna Marie Nicole Schreifels. Brendan Joseph Schroeder. Graydon Marshall Snyder. Anita Elizabeth Staupy. Ellie Walton Steinley. Yusa Nasamji Stiller. Anna Eileen Suter. Cameron John Sundstrom. Jacob Michael Swaja. Zachary Aaron Zacchaeus. Tate Bartholomew Tyne. Abigail Suzanne Thompson. Alexis Jade Wallace. Lauren Nicole White. Camille Marie Wilder.
As senior advisors, we want to express our deepest gratitude to parents for entrusting us with your students on a daily basis.
It is an honor to join with you in guiding your children to be people who positively contribute to their world with kindness, respect, hard work, and integrity.
One of the special and unique moments at Spectrum graduations is the rose ceremony.
Roses carry many meanings, such as love,
Honor,
Faith,
wisdom,
devotion,
and timelessness.
In preparation for tonight's virtual ceremony, each graduate was provided with a silk rose. We ask that they pick up the rose at this time.
In a moment, each graduate will present the rose to one of their family members to express their love and to appreciate and honor their families for the faith they have shown in them, their education, and their lives.
Once students have presented their rose, the Spectrum High School Chamber Choir will present a special song entitled "You Are My Companion," which speaks of companionship and the joys of sharing it as we travel along the road of life.
Graduates, please present your rose and then return quickly to enjoy the choir presentation.
Down the silver
As I prepare to present our graduates to you this evening, I would ask that all graduates stand wherever you are at this time. When on campus, it is at this time in our ceremony that I would traditionally ask our faculty and staff to also stand and face our graduates in order to honor them. Please know that while we are not able to physically be present with you this evening, we turn our hearts toward you and are wishing you all the best as you prepare to go out into the world and enter this new stage in your lives. Graduates, please transfer your tassel from one side of your cap to the other. It is my distinct honor this evening to present to you, faculty, staff, school board, parents, families, and friends, Spectrum High School's Class of 2020. Congratulations.
been my privilege to be in and out of your class.